of a night in college football last night, and immediately I go into, the Holy War is back, and I'm here for it. The Big 12 had a huge night. So those of you that follow me on Twitter, because I refuse to call it by that one letter, those of you that follow me on Twitter, I tweeted about how impressed I was with Cam Rising at Utah Utes. With Cam Rising, Brant Keithy, 600 days. A lot of days missed. It's been more than 600 days since Cam Rising played in a football game. Yet he steps up last night, 10 of 15, 5 touchdowns. I said, man, you really got to be impressed with how Cam Rising played. And immediately, BYU fan. Wasn't that impressive, Marty? He was wide open. Wait until you see Jerry Bohannon, the rightful, deserving starter of BYU football, throw bombs. Immediately, BYU fan. He sucks. Wide open, easy throw. Okay, well, here's a news flash, bitter guy. Football's hard, and there are no easy touchdowns.
So get your facts straight.
There are no, hey, Marty, I could have made that throw. You, as a fat Mormon who's dying soon, could have made that throw. Let's just get this. I'm going to sit up.
Yeah.
Proper posture.
Yes.
Can we
just proper position here?
Can we just get this out of the way and all agree that football's hard? Can we all agree that flipping Cam Rising, not playing for over 600 days, and then going 10 of 15 with 5 scores against your mom's like coffee clutch would be impressive?
Yes.
He took you. Hey, Jerky. He tore every knee ligament possible. Every one of them. Nah, not impressive. Cam, you're 49 years old.
Terrible.
This is your 17th season at Utah.
Garbo.
I expect worse from you.
Because it's garbage.
If you were one of those guys, I hope Jerry Bohannon's your starter at BYU. If you weren't, let's go Jake Retzloff. Not the NASCAR driver, the quarterback.
Right.
I am amazed by that. I'm amazed by that.
Yeah, the haters were out last night, no doubt. I mean, it was truly enjoyable to watch Cam Rising just torch that defense repeatedly.
10 of 15. I'm sorry. He played 4 quarters, right? No, he played the first half. 10 of 15, 254, 5 touchdowns.
He threw an interception, right?
No. How about Brant Keithy? 4 for 69 and 3 scores. Neither one of them have played last year. Neither one of them. What are you, on a mission? No. On recovery from surgery. And they come out and dominate. I think it is remarkable. I thought it was exactly the performance that we needed from Cam Rising.
Mm-hmm.
Dejon Stanley, Mekhi Bernard, Cam Rising, and I know it's again unimpressive. Cam Rising sucks. He's a terrible quarterback. He also ran 4 times for 25 yards. I mean, he's terrible.
Brutal.
You could have run 4 times for 25 yards. I mean, all those throws were so easy.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. It's what I always tell you guys. It's why I don't read my notifications on Twitter. It's why it is a bastion of buttholes on that platform. And I'm just
Janus.
Yeah, I'm just not here for it. I am not here for it. It's ridiculous to me.
I mean, I think it was inevitable that there was going to be hate after this game for Cam, but anybody who is genuine and real about it, understands how difficult, it must be to miss that many days, to not play a football game for, 600 days is crazy.
And the argument, well, Marty, I mean, Southern Utah, they can't cover the spread, let alone a receiver.
It is what it is.
It doesn't matter who it was. Do you not understand that every snap Cam Rising takes is a gift for Utah?
What would you be saying if he had thrown 4 picks and,
he sucks.
I told you, Marty. Told you, Marty.
Preston
He's
Stone's
terrible.
the real deal.
Yeah. Told you, Marty.
Yeah, somebody should probably do a wellness check on Oak State James. Okay, are we all gonna coalesce around the idea that James is now the new bad juju for football teams? Oh man, Preston Stone.
Well, Marty, if they don't put that upper deck in, their quarterback's getting lit tonight.
Have you seen Preston Stone's thingy dingy?
The cock.
Let me tell you about Preston Stone. Yeah, you admired Preston Stone, and then he got pulled out of the game and almost lost.
Macaque.
Then you talked about how North Carolina, James, was going to be, wow, amazing.
Hiscock.
Well, listen, guys.
Marty.
North Carolina put 5 decks on the visitors' side. With all that CNS seating,
They're going to light it up.
North Carolina's winning. I believe Oak State James says North Carolina was going to win the ACC and a national championship.
Yeah, we'll see Georgia in Atlanta. We'll see them.
Right? And last night, and Oak State James, I know that you are a prayerful man. You're a pastor and you study other pastors who
in God's name, image, and likeness.
Not so good predilections to felonies. I get it.
We really did.
And you said that Max Johnson was going to win the Heisman Trophy.
Hiscock.
And that he was more phallically enabled than Preston Stone.
I need a dick.
And then Max Duggan's hip and knee aren't supposed to bend that way. And North Carolina looked really not very good. And then that thing with his knee and his hip and James, you better hope that this is not a foretelling of your bad juju on Oak State.
That's out of the window.
Because South Dakota State is going to be pretty good. By the way, yes. Apparently yesterday, before we get into the games, apparently yesterday I said that Colorado was playing South Dakota State. I don't recall saying that, but I assume it's true because guy in the comments like, all right, that's it. I'm done. You lose all credibility. The guy's like, you lose all credibility.
What is this? The Rudy Gobert conversation?
So I misspoke one time and I lose all credibility.
Do you even watch football, Marty?
Marty, look, you fat whale-ass Mormon who's dying soon. Are you really? You can't tell the difference between North Dakota State and I can't believe it.
Somebody show this guy how to read.
That's it. I'm done. That was his comment. That's it. I'm done. You've lost all credibility.
That's
Colorado's playing North Dakota State. It's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, let's get into Utah first. Then we'll let all the haters come out of the woodwork on Prime. This is exactly what Utah needed to do. And we talked about it. I think they needed to dominate. I asked if Southern Utah would score a point. How did that work out? Lander Barton's a stud. My guy, Logan Vano, stud. Moko Fisi, stud. The offensive line's got to be a little better. Isaac Wilson and his crazy mom can't throw interceptions. And it is exactly when you look at what this Utah team needed, that's exactly the performance you were after. You needed Cam Rising to dominate the way that he did, because let's be honest, Utah is, I think, the lone best shot for the Big 12 to have a college football playoff team. I think there's so many unknowns about the other contenders. Jalen Daniels did not impress me as much as I would have liked last night. And it was Lindenwood, and he made some decisions in that game that had me head scratch. Okay, this is a guy that's been hurt. He's missed time. Perfect point. Cam Rising's missed 600 days, and he looked flawless. He looked like he hasn't missed a day. And I think you look at this weekend with Avery Johnson and K-State. I think you look at this weekend in Oak State with South Dakota State. You look at the way that these games are going to play out. What we saw from Utah and Cam Rising last night is exactly what we needed to see to have an idea of why people were so impressed, why, frankly, I have espoused on this show about the greatness of that defense, about Cam Rising's impact on that offense. Frankly, I think we do not talk about Brant Kuithe enough. He is a dominant receiver. And I think, yes, do they have other receivers? Is Money Parks going to be a huge contributor this year? Yes. Are they going to run the ball effectively? Clearly. But none of that matters if Cam Rising and Brant Kuithe are not there. And I think Cam Rising is incredibly gifted. And I think he's a guy that showed us last night. He is ready to be the guy that led this team to the Rose Bowl, that knocked down a lot of previously held beliefs about Utah's ability to win at the highest level. And I think, Jake, I think they put the Big 12 on notice last night.
Absolutely. And, they look prepared. They look like they, like you said, hadn't missed a day. And I think that was the part that stood out to me. It's not just that, Cam had a big night or put up numbers or, everything was amazing. It was more that it was the throws were right in step. Like the chemistry was still there. Like, Cam running for those couple of first downs of 25 yards. He looked fine. He looked like he looked totally ready to go. He looked like he had 100% confidence in the leg, the knee. He just looked like he had been waiting for this day for quite some time. And it was only a matter of going out there and snapping the football that was holding him back from having a big night. And I think that's exactly what the conference needed. That's exactly what the Utes needed, obviously. And I think if you're a Utah fan, you should be feeling great. I think the only question that remains is, yes, the offensive line providing protection against against equal opposition is going to be a really interesting conversation as the year wears on. I thought they had nice moments in the run game as a unit. I thought there were some moments where that offensive line didn't exactly provide the greatest protection, So I think that there is stuff to work on. But I coming out of this game, it's nothing short of 100% success, in my opinion. It's exactly what you wanted. It's what you were looking for. And the only question is going to be, where is the biggest opportunity for Utah to lose a game? Because when I look at that defense, I look at how prepared they were, how disciplined they were with their gap integrity up front. The safety play was solid. Like, Cole Bishop, losing him to the NFL, there were a lot of questions about whether, that was going to be noticeable in this defense. And I don't really feel like it was all that noticeable. I felt like the defense was in the right spot at the right time. And really, in the first half, the only play that I really was not thrilled with for the defense was when Southern Utah's quarterback got out to the left there and ran for that first down around midfield. That was really the only play where I was like, yeah, you lost contain, you lost the backside. He broke you off for 20, 25 yards there. But other than that, I thought Utah had a great night. And there's not a lot of criticism to go around, the morning after. I feel like you should be thrilled if you're a Utah fan.
Yeah, I feel like if you're a Big 12 fan, the Utes put you on notice last night. And I think that's what I left that game with. Complete and total domination. The Isaac Wilson touchdown pass is scary. That was a phenomenal back shoulder throw. I thought Mekhi Bernard, the running game, looked good. And I think Brant Kuithe is one of the most underrated, underappreciated receiving targets in the country. And if Cam Rising is going to play that way, I think it is going to be very difficult for this league to hold that offense down.
Well, and I thought the physicality of the run game too was nice to see out of the Utes. Like, Bernard is somebody who, has been in this program long enough now, knows what he needs to do, knows what his job is this year. And I would expect him to be a physical back, like somebody who you can hand it off to on first down when you want to, and he can go and find you 4 yards when you need it. And that's where when all the Utah haters who, maybe are like, hey, well, Oak State or, this team or that team, dude, this team can run the football against anybody. And that's what you have to do to win on the road.
Well, and Dejon Stanley being a dual threat. Obviously he ran the ball well, in my opinion, but the receiving game, if Cam Rising's going to have a check down threat that can take it to the house, it just opens up a lot more space. It forces you to keep an extra guy in the box, which what does that do? Opens up the middle of the field for Brant Keithy, opens up the sideline. Because Brant Keithy, what I think a lot of people don't understand, he can play anywhere on the field. So when you look at the way he ran the routes last night through the middle of the field, like you look at the depth that Utah's offense now can play at. When you have a guy that can be a check down in Stanley and take it deep, you have a guy in Brant Keithy who can dominate the mid-range. I think Monty Parks can make a catch at any level of the offense, at anywhere in the route combinations and in the route trees. This offense now is complex. It is not easy to scheme against. And I think Mekhi Bernard and Dejon Stanley are a nice 1-2 punch. And I think it's going to be very interesting. I wanted to see a little more out of Dorian Singer.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to see enough out of Dorian Singer. That's the one guy that stands out. But you had, with Brant Keithy being that lethal, I also think that Dorian Singer didn't have to show as much in the offense. I loved everything I saw from it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I will say this defense, you guys, if you are not absolutely terrified of the fact that Van Filliger had 2 sacks last night and looks to be in amazing shape, and you look at that defense, you look at Logan Fano and the impact he had constantly at the feet of the quarterback. I look at Connor O'Toole, who I think is another guy that you don't know who that is, but the guy is absolutely an impactful player. The linebacker play, I mean, it just is, it's one of those things where you feel really good about where Utah is at. And I think, and I don't know what you all think, I think this now becomes a week-by-week proving ground for Utah. Obviously, next weekend, Baylor is a much more stout opponent. We need to see the same repeat performance. It's at home. It's at altitude. It's an afternoon game at Rice-Eccles Stadium. The place is going to be hopping. I think we got a really good look against SUU about what kind of home field advantage that can be. I think Utah is a real force in this conference. And I think now you understand why they were favored in this league.
Absolutely. And, looking at the schedule, I'd expect you to be 3-0 heading to Stillwater. And you look at the schedule and you start to understand that, hey, if you're 3-0 heading to Stillwater and you're feeling good and everyone's healthy and we're all systems go, yeah, I would favor Utah against Oklahoma State. I would. I think that it would be disrespectful to the Utes defense to say that Oklahoma State should be favored in that game. I understand, all jokes aside, being dead serious, I understand the threat that is Ollie Gordon. I understand that Oklahoma State can run the football. But you're talking about a defense that is more than happy to play physical in your face at the line of scrimmage defense. And I think when you have, because that's the thing, like when I watch defenses, like what do they embrace? Like what's their style of play, right? Like, is this a defense that enjoys the physicality, enjoys, punishing you? Or is this more of a defense that, wants to sit back and play zone and let you come to them and then they're going to make the tackle and, kind of go that route? And Utah is definitely that physical defense that is more than happy to meet you right there in the gap. And that's what I think is going to be difficult for Oklahoma State to get around.
But more, I love everybody on Twitter last night and in our comment section on YouTube last night. Oh, it's just Southern Utah. What is the big deal? It's not that it was Southern Utah. And I understand that warped, small-minded football people struggle with this concept. It's not the opponent. When you're Utah and you are playing Southern Utah, you're not playing Southern Utah. You're competing against yourself.
Yeah. And
it's very easy for a guy like, again, I'll go to Cam Rising 600 days. Would have been very easy for him to be, 6 of 20. You understand if he's throwing off rhythm or behind guys. Not at all. Moved in the pocket well, showed us he's mobile, showed us he can throw on the run, hit guys in stride. Like, it doesn't matter. The Utah defense. What did I say the expectation against Southern Utah was yesterday morning? Shutout. Will Southern Utah even score? They didn't. When you're that dominant defensively, the only bar is shutout. And do you know how hard it is to shut teams out in college football? It's almost impossible. When you're playing not your ones and twos, you're playing your threes and your fours and your five. You're playing your freshmen. And you dominated. I think it is, and this is kind of the Colorado story. I think you look at the two, Southern Utah is the opponent that Utah needed. Now you switch gears and you go to Colorado. Colorado needed North Dakota State.
Do you believe?
They needed a tough test. And if you look at that Colorado performance last night, there is no slander on Shedeur Sanders today. If that is not a Heisman Trophy candidate, there should be no Heisman Trophy given out this year.
Yeah, and I'd like all the buffoons who left him off the All-American team to apologize to Shedeur Sanders today. I mean, you're talking about someone who has complete command of an offense, clearly manipulating the defense to create openings for his guys, clearly willing to take, to step into the throw, make the throw, and then take the punishment that follows. And we're going to talk about the defense because there's a lot of things to talk about on that defense.
Yes.
But there should not be anybody in our comment section or anybody anywhere saying a terse word about Shedeur Sanders today. The guy delivered last night repeatedly.
Yeah, he did. And I think that the storylines that we talked about leading into the Colorado game yesterday, are they better than they were last year? I don't think there's any doubt they're better. The offensive line is significantly better. Is it now really good? It's not. And maybe that's an indication of how bad that offensive line was. But I think when you look at the way they played, Seaton, I thought held up really well. I thought he was maybe their best lineman.
Mm-hmm.
I thought their ability to protect Shedeur Sanders through the A gap, which was a huge problem last year, significantly better. He still had to move a lot, and move he did. His ability to, as you talked about, use his mobility to manipulate linebackers is a skill that you rarely see in college football. And his ability to deliver the football in time and space under pressure, I think it's early. If there's a better quarterback at delivering a ball in time and space, his accuracy on the deep ball, his accuracy on that 25-yard throw across the field is ridiculous. The zip that he puts on it. Now, he needs to get rid of the football in certain situations. We're going to need him to do that.
Yes.
Or he is going to be dead. I think what we saw from Shedeur last night, 445 yards, I think. 445, 4 scores, and an unbelievably unlucky interception.
Yeah.
Trying to bounce a ball at the receiver's feet at the goal line. He was literally trying to throw the ball into the ground. Hit a defender who had fallen down in the calf, popped the ball in the air, intercepted. Now, are you impressed with Colorado? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
This was a 60-point number last night, and it went under somehow. When you add
well, I think it went under because of that play.
A 37-point first half between the two, and you wind up at 57 points. I warned you about the Colorado coaching staff. That's a really good coaching staff. The adjustments they made at the half defensively to drop those linebackers 1 yard further so that they could both cover and read, I think that changed the entire complexity of the game because they were able to contain the pass underneath much more effectively. The tight end, 82, whatever the hell his name is, he had Joe Stoffel. That touchdown underneath that he had was incredibly frustrating for Colorado. You could see it. The lack of communication between the safeties and the corners that gave up repeated first downs. Shedeur Sanders making a hit on the sideline that just simply did not need to happen to convert a third down that they missed into a first down. Unacceptable. But then you go to the half and you make adjustments, and you pretty well dominated North Dakota State, the Bison, in the second half. And I thought it was a really good performance. You held them without a touchdown. I thought it was an incredibly dramatic turn of events. Now, I think they're in real trouble up front.
Mm-hmm.
Their defensive front has got to get better. Colorado, their pass rush has got to get better. Now, again, North Dakota State is really good at protecting the quarterback who is mobile. So he is a guy that does not get sacked a whole lot. They've got to get more pressure on the quarterback, because next week at Nebraska, you're not going to have the luxuries you had last night.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing that stood out to me about last night. Like, you can clearly see how the struggles of last night will be exacerbated against better teams. Like, you talk about that communication, out on the edge pre-snap between corners, safeties, even the linebackers at times. I agree they made great adjustments at the half, and that allowed them to win the game. But even in the first half, like, when all North Dakota State had to do was bring a guy across the formation, and it caused havoc at certain points on certain plays. And
lack of communication.
Yeah. I mean, that can't happen. And that's why you have guys wide open, running down the sideline. And that's the hard part. I think that while Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter are the absolute shining, spotlights last night, and Horn Jr. as well, I thought had a phenomenal night last night. Those three guys really stand out to you. Wait,
they're not Oklahoma State's wide receivers.
I know they don't have.
Let's
anything
not get carried away
on Stillwater's wide receiver room, but they were pretty good. And I just think that the question that everyone's probably asking in the comments is, well, after watching this game, what do you think Colorado's going to be? I think Colorado's talented enough to be bowl eligible. I think that,
I agree.
I think that we should not say we expect them to be bowl eligible yet, because I need to see just how bad the mistakes will be against better teams, and if Shedeur can overcome that.
Yeah, and I think the offensive line has got to protect him more. And again, I thought that unit played well. Seton is everything we thought he would be.
Yes.
I mean, I thought he protected. I thought there was a moment late in the first half. They had been taking cheap shots on Shedeur. North Dakota State had been hitting him late, bumping him out of bounds, and you could see Shedeur was telling his guys to let it go. There was a play on a Dallin Hayden run where that linebacker, and forgive me, it's North Dakota State. I'm not familiar with all their names. North Dakota State, the linebacker that shoved Shedeur out of bounds was on one knee making a tackle, and Seton absolutely trucked him and put him in the ground. And then in the second half, there were several situations where North Dakota State went helmet to helmet and wasn't called. The hold at the goal line,
dude,
that wasn't called.
I don't know. That was one of those where I was like, how do you not call that? And then, later in the game, we get the, Travis Hunter in the corner where Travis throws the guy down and they finally call it. And I'm like, bro, when are you I'm cool if you want to let him play. I get it.
Me too.
Hey, let him play. I'm good with that. But the egregious ones that lead to touchdowns because you're holding the guy, I felt like that one should have been called.
Yeah, but I thought it was last year Colorado got into fights to protect Shedeur. This year they protected him and there wasn't a fight or a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really meaningful. The stupid third down penalties, you're getting North Dakota State off the field. You take a penalty, they get a first down, leads to a touchdown.
Yep.
It kept this game close. It was like I made the graphic this morning. It was a self-inflicted thriller.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't know what else you can say about that offense. Dallin Hayden, I thought, did a serviceable job on an offensive line that is not very good at run blocking. You can see they emphasized through spring, summer, and into fall camp. They worked on pass protection.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely
Well, you
worked
knew
on
you
it.
had to have it,
They are not a good run blocking unit yet. And that's going to take time. It takes chemistry. It takes reps. I think that's where this offensive line has to get better is they have to run block better.
And that's what I'm saying. You watch this game and it's like early in the game, they were able to open up some gaps. They were able to, in the first quarter, you were able to run for 3-4 yards a carry, put yourself in good down and distance, to get the first down.
Yeah.
But that's why I say, like, when you look at the schedule and you look at the better opposition, that you're going to play, that's my concern. I think you're going to be in 2nd and 8 a lot. I think you're going to be in, you're going to be in 2nd and long a lot because the offensive line's going to have to show that they can push around a power for, Big 12, defensive line. You're going to have to show that you can do that a little bit. And the question's simply going to be, that issue with the back end of the defense. Shedeur Sanders is talented, but I also think that sometimes he can get a little shook. He can get a little bit flustered.
Certainly. Yeah.
And that will, at certain points this season, cost them.
I don't know that he's an NFL safety at this point.
Yeah, a lot of people were asking if he was going to get drafted after that performance last night.
He was in the right place, and I thought he's a tackling machine. Can he control his emotions? There were 31 scouts at the game last night.
Mm-hmm.
Can he control his emotions? I don't know. I think that's a big question because I'm telling you that you look at that offense, and I don't think there is any doubt that Jimmy Horn and Travis Hunter are top 10 picks. I think Colorado could put 3 guys in the top 10 this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Shedeur is
a lock for top 5, in my opinion.
And Travis Hunter's a lock for top 5.
Yeah.
I think those two go in the top 5. I can't find any more accolades. I can't find any more adjectives. I can't find any more praise to put on Shedeur. I cannot. And we talk about the best quarterbacks, and you guys all mocked me about Cam Rising. Cam Rising and Shedeur Sanders put on shows last night.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn, LaJohntay Wester.
Yeah.
I thought LaJohntay Wester made 2 really big catches last night.
Yeah, if you don't know his name, you should get to know him. He's going to be a big deal for them.
I thought that offense, my God, come on. I'm trying to delay going to the comments section because I'm sure the prime hate.
I will say, too, I thought it was good for them to be behind in this game and have to reel it in a little bit, control the game, give themselves, after that ridiculous interception at the goal line, it would have been easy for this team to sort of, lose their cool, get flustered, just kind of lose composure and unravel.
And I know this is going to sound crazy. And I'm curious. I know that you were throat deep on Deion last night.
Yes.
Did you? I felt like the Shedeur Sanders penalty actually turned the game around for Colorado. As bad as it was,
he got
as
his money's
stupid
worth.
As it was, Deion, they showed a shot of Deion on the sideline, just throwing his hands up like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And then the coach and 2 players went over to Shiloh after that. And Deion was shown talking to Shiloh walking off the field. I thought it was a game-changing moment in the positive for Colorado because I think that could have sunk you. And I think it shows this team is more mature. I think their leadership circle is bigger. And I just think I cannot say enough about that coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wildly impressed with the maturity we saw from Colorado.
Yeah, you should be, and I think again, let's not get confused about what we're saying about Colorado because I don't want any nonsense about what we're saying.
All right,
I think that they're talented enough to be bowl eligible. I do not think they're a lock to be bowl eligible. I think it's going to be an absolute grind, and being bowl eligible assumes that Shedeur is available for every game that you play because without him, I think you're just not the same team. And And I think that, that coaching staff is doing yeoman's work. I think they're getting the absolute best out of every player on that roster.
And you better. All right. Speaking of which, let's hear from Deion Sanders. It's a bit of a tepid response about the outcome of that game last night.
I never felt like you won, but you didn't win. It's almost like we had more points than they did. Giving up the last touchdown on the run, that bothered me because we pride ourselves on going to get the quarterback, and we have a multitude of young men that can go get the quarterback, and we didn't get that done. But I'm thankful, I'm happy we got the W. Miss Peggy's one step closer to the dream and the vision that we have for her, as well as I think 31 NFL scouts are on hand tonight, and I think they saw what they came to see. So let's move on from there. I'm gonna try my best to hold back my anger, but we got the W, so I'm happy.
It's the exact right answer.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's spot on.
The Monty Show comment section is always presented by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy app in the business. And again,
how easy was the number last night on
Oh
Shedeur?
my God.
How easy was it? I mean,
lost.
we told you that 304.5 was easy cash on Shedeur.
I lost. Why did I lose? Because that was the only football play I made last night. Because we all know that at some point, the Aaron Judge train was going to derail the Marty Show. And with the Yankees not playing, I was forced to cheat on my guy, Aaron Judge.
Why don't you fuck off?
And I had to go and listen. If my Prize Picks app would load, I could tell you exactly where I put my load.
Your load.
I was forced to make the unfortunate decision to believe in Shohei the Gambler. I shared a video of his dog with my wife.
Oh.
I felt all the feels about Shohei, the great gambler and dog trainer.
Mm-hmm.
What did that get me? That got me an absolute flop.
Doesn't make you feel responsible.
It does, because he went 0 for 5 with a strikeout, you prick. And then, of course, because good old Uncle Marty is a degenerate.
Right.
And again, Aaron Judge was not playing. So why wouldn't you take the Rolls? Now, nothing good happens in Kansas City or with the Royals, right? Mm-hmm. That club sucks. Actually, they don't. They're in a playoff spot. But I thought, listen, hey, if you're going to go with the Rolls, Bobby Witt Jr., why wouldn't you?
Yeah, smart play. Coming off of the sweep of the Guardians, you're in a good spot.
Which, as a side note, screw the Royals, screw the Chiefs, screw anything Kansas City, because it is a town of Black Death.
Uh-huh.
Like, you're just gonna, you walk into Kansas City and say the Royals are gonna win. Your body's gonna begin instantly growing black mold from the inside out, so it can eat your soul as a daily fantasy player, and it'll fall eventually out of your rectum along with all of your money. Because the Royals don't win anything ever unless you say they're going to lose. Then that mold spreads into your lungs and your cardiovascular system, and then you die a slower death, even slower than being a Cubs fan.
Wow, that was
screw you.
That was graphic.
Bobby Witt Jr.
That was graphic.
Jerk off. But tonight on Prize Picks, we're back, baby. Again, NFL pick, Caleb Williams is half a yard on Prize Picks. PrizePicks.com, America's favorite. I love Prize Picks, even though it eats my soul on certain days. I love Prize Picks. It's super easy, more or less. Caleb Williams, is he going to have more or less than a half yard passing? Hook it up.
Obvi.
It's so easy. I love that Prize Picks does that. All you have to do is win 2 of 3 picks. Trust me here. Make 3 selections on Prize Picks. Play a flex play, a $5 flex play. All you have to do is win 2 or 3. Boom. Chicken dinner. Don't take the Royals. Ever.
Rolls.
Ever. Don't take Shohei the Gambler. Ever. Never. Even if there's a federal probe of your bank account, don't take Shohei the Gambler. And you'll win. Open a new account in the Prize Picks app. Put $5 in. They'll give you 50 more. It's the best promo I have ever seen in daily fantasy. The best promo. Speaking of $5. Now, I haven't seen the comment yet. What is going to be the off-the-wall bonkers portion of the comment section from Oak State James?
Hey, look here, man.
Who's going to pay us? Inevitably, he pays us.
Well, Monty, if Colorado had an upper deck on that big-ass bowl they have, they'd have won by like 40 points. But, they don't have enough CNS seating. The rollers aren't good enough, and that's why they only won by like 4 points.
Look, there's not enough fecal matter on the rollers at Folsom Field.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah, so
and it's why Coach Prime's going to wind up in the state of Texas somewhere.
And no, I don't believe.
If he puts Terrell Owens on that staff with Warren Sapp.
Bro.
Yeah! Did anybody see that Terrell Owens is coaching Travis Hunter? Did you guys see that story on ESPN during the game last night? Okay, Oak State James, let hilarity ensue. Colorado versus NDST. I believe, now I could be wrong. Nancy's Danish, was great. North Dakota State won TD in the second half. Are you sure?
Marty, did our stats department get that right?
They missed the 2-point conversion. That's how the Oak State South Dakota State game will go. No, it's just South Dakota State's going to win. I did get the temp Prescott, Arizona job. Congratulations. You can now more passionately study the.
Yeah, are you going to go and study NAU football stadium now, or?
We'll start in a few weeks. I want to golf with you Saturday after the BYU game.
Hold on, bro.
Let's settle down.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're quite there in your relationship with the show yet,
yeah,
James.
I get that. I get it.
Fear. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't know. That is isn't that game October 18th? Isn't October, is that a Friday night? October 18th?
Let's have a look-see here.
Hey Siri, what day of the week is October 18th?
It's Friday, October 18th, 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We'll golf with you after the BYU game on Saturday. Absolutely.
No, I'm good. Thank you. Maybe. Hey, real quick, by the way, in all seriousness, we'll get back to you on that. Because I'm going to be at SMU that Saturday for Preston Stone.
And his member.
And stuff. Sean Rollins gifted a Monty Show membership. Thank you. Big shout out to my guy Micah, who said hello at Harmon's last night. We were getting Boar's Head cheese. And Micah and his beautiful family were at the deli counter at Harmon's. And we shook hands. It was great to see you, Micah, and your lovely family. I appreciate you saying hello. Preston, not the Preston, the mechanic, our auto mechanic Preston, but Preston at Maverick last weekend. Appreciate you, dude. Preston, I am a terrible human being because I forgot to shout you out. But Preston, really appreciated you saying hello at Maverick. It was awesome. Preston is a huge, and I almost fear to say this, he is a huge Utah State fan. And
next question.
He appreciated the mature way that we handled the Utah State scandal. but we had a good conversation. Preston's good dude. I appreciated him shouting us out, saying hello. That was a week ago this morning when I saw Preston. So I appreciate you, Preston. Micah, I appreciate you. If you guys are in public and you see us, you should probably stay away. The stench is amazing. But if you'd like, say hello. Say hello. Say hello at Canyons Golf this weekend, the official golf course of the Monty Show. I will be there Monday morning, and Saturday morning I will be up there. Sunday I'm going to see Hamilton.
How do we feel about that? Are you excited or?
Shut up. I'm going to see Hamilton on Sunday with Mrs. Monty. Then we are going to celebrate her birthday at Ruth's Chris, which is going to be amazing. So a Sunday of honey-do list. Now, she's agreed that I can leave the house on Sunday morning to go and go to the range. But I'm going to see a matinee performance of Hamilton.
Kitty cat juices is not all over the place.
So I'm going to be well cultured come Tuesday morning.